I'm heading out to an old military site to just check out my external mic setup on my GoPro. I wasn't happy with the setting earlier, and so I've just decided to give it another go. I'm heading out towards an old military area between Saldanha and Jacobsbaai. There's a back road via Deersville. It's been fairly dry here by us, and then you can see, like, in a short space of time you're in open country. A beautiful day today. They're expecting a high of 33 degrees, they reckon. No wind, so I also want to give fly my drone a bit and test out a few of the settings that I have for upcoming rides. I'm thoroughly enjoying my GS now. It's going in next Friday for a 70,000 kilometer service. Hasn't given me a day's trouble, and I do, however, maintain its service history and what have you with BMW. So the guys in Cape Town are doing a very good job, and but my GS has never left me in the lurch ever. It's a bit sandy in some of the patches, yeah, and a bit corrugated and dry, as you can see. But I'm riding in dynamic mode. I'm not riding in off-road or enduro mode. I'm treating this as like a regular farm road. I don't drop my tire pressure either. I've banged up some rims before, and that's been an expensive exercise for me. So I kind of learned to ride in the sandy parts and just take the wobble of the bike goes. For most part, it's okay. The tires I'm using are Dunlop Trail Maxes. This is my third set, actually. I just put on not so long ago, and the reason why I like these tires is because of the longevity that I get out of them. The problem is I used to ride with TKCs, and then that was they had nice grip in this loose stuff in the sand and what have you, but I didn't get more than 7,000 Ks out of them. I was lucky, sometimes even 5. So when you're on a budget, you've got to consider these kind of things. So I then opted for the Dunlop Trail Maxes because they gave me a nice all-round capability. And I mean, in every case, riding these motorcycles, it is a bit of a compromise. I mean, it's not really an ideal off-road motorcycle, neither is it ideal road bike. So, but it can take you most places, and that's like, I'm happy with that kind of average. There's Jacobsbaai in the distance there. So this used to be a disused airfield, the military back in the day, and then the locals started drag racing on it, and then I think the municipality came and dug up the parts of the track so that they couldn't go racing anymore, because it obviously created a bit of a problem for them in the area. So now it doesn't get used for much. There's a couple of cyclists you'll find along the way, yeah, and of course yours truly, I'd like to come and film you and have fun with my drone, which is what I'm going to do now. A lot of people ask me about my 360 camera and how I've mounted it. It's a Insta360 X3, and I'm mounted using the 114 centimeter selfie stick that comes from Insta. but I've got a few extra little safety measures on it because I've read that they've been known to have some failure at some point. So I have a cable tie around here. Then I've got these ram mounts. I prefer to use the ram mounts, they're much more solid. You can see I've got this U-clamp on the crash bar, then with this ram mount setup, and I've got an extra safety with a cable thing, so if it does snap off here, and at least it'll hang and not hit the ground. You know, it might get damaged on the bodywork, who knows, but the reality of it is at least it won't get to the ground. So that's how I've sort of double crossed that bridge. 360 camera, it works like an absolute charm. Okay, I've now activated active track just to see if this thing is going to follow me, but I realized a lot of times you have to stand on the bike because it doesn't pick you up when you're sitting. So I found, because it continuously loses you when you're sitting, it's geared mostly to follow a person or a car. But when you're on a motorcycle, it seems to lose you a little bit. So I've activated active track, and I'm just riding here slowly around and you can see it's lost me already. There it is, way back there. And the unfortunate part that DJI just hasn't got to is that get the thing to follow the RC controller, which you would think it would do, because it makes so much more sense. And is it following me? Not sure. Don't have eyes in the back of my head. So yeah, it seems to be following me now. But I have to stand up. Hello, drone. That's still coming. So these are the challenges you face when you trying to make some YouTube footage of your trips that you ride on. It takes some doing and some patience. I started making YouTube videos mostly to diarize my own travels on my motorcycles over the years, and you know, and I started seeing other motor bloggers and motorcyclists using GoPros and 360 cameras and drones, and that inspired me, because even now I love watching my own videos. You know, when it gets to 10 minutes and less, it has got built-in home. It's already saying to me that it's got 8 minutes left, so I'm going to take it down now. So let's just get her to a nice landing spot. There we go, and a bit forward. There's less stones over there. Bit of wind protection from the bushes. Landing. Yeah. And that had 8 minutes left to go. So as you can see, they don't last long, so you have to choose where you're going to shoot and what footage you're going to capture. So it's fun nonetheless. 60 camera. This is a Insta360 1X3. These cameras are great action cameras. It gives a nice 360 view, and you can do all that stuff in post-production when you get back home or when you get to your place of residence after your ride. I found that with these things you've got to just watch the stitching angle, because if you put it on the fairing like this, it can easily try to make the fairing join sort of thing. So try to keep it away onto like a landscape open area, and then you shouldn't have too much of a stitching problem. So yeah, my drone that I use is a DJI Mini 3 Pro. My 360 camera is the Insta360 X3, and my GoPro's a Hero 7 Black. And the reason why I chose that camera when I bought it years ago was because it had hyperstabilization. So it stops all the jittery and the bumping or whatever. No matter how bad the road gets, you can always have nice stable footage. So that's the reason why I did that. For most part, my bike is in stock standard condition. Hasn't given me a day's drama. I've taken it into places perhaps I shouldn't have taken it, but for most part, the farm roads and the kind of roads that you just seen me riding out to get you, that's the kind of riding I do mostly nowadays. And I find the older I get, the slower I've become. So, and I'm okay with that, because I want to ride like some of my friends who are still riding and they're in their 80s. And Ken, you know who you are. It's guys like you that motivate me to ride to a ripe old age, and inspire me for that matter. So yeah, so this is my setup, and that's what I came to talk about. So these runabout shots are actually probably the best. Well, especially for me, I found that they work quite nicely. Gives you a bit of an overview of where you are, the 360 degree view around you, because the tracking part of the drone in terms of motorcycle riding is a little bit frustrating to me. So for most part, this is what I will use it for. A nice clear shot coming in over my head here. It's a bit windy today. Well, the wind has picked up at least. And yeah, end of the shot. Right, so got all my stuff together, finished testing. Now I'm gonna head home. So I was testing the drone out in the follow me mode, and the sound on my GoPro with the external mic versus the sort of default mode. Yeah, and I'll discover how it all comes together when I get back home. Nice little gravel road. People come here and ride their bicycles on the weekend. And yeah, all the people are working in the week, unlike yours truly, yeah. Oh, so we're heading back home now, and we'll do the sound test when we get home. I had the little wind, I think, in my Arai helmet open on the way in, so could have picked up a little bit more noise there, but I've got it closed now, and we'll see how it holds up on the way home. Still riding in dynamic mode, yeah, treating this as a normal farm road, which I guess in a way it is, because I mean it's just pieces of sandy farm road. See, it's a bit corrugated here and there, and there's some sandy patches. Nothing too extreme though. Yeah, it's nice just to take the back roads and get away from the traffic and the day-to-day workings of the people. So it's in the middle of the week. I'm able to do these kinds of things. I'm very fortunate. Yeah, so having fun testing my camera equipment and just playing with different settings. I don't mind sharing it with you guys because it might help you some way. I know these kind of videos help me tremendously, so I always tell people that YouTube is your friend, actually. So yeah, so I'm going to basically end off this video now. I'll spot you on the other side.